Good evening, you're here with the Citizen World program, which brings the development of your knowledge on civic education every Saturday at 3 p.m. Today on Citizens Television we have Mr. Edward Fernando, a renowned lecturer in the field of international relations, to educate you. I would like to welcome him to Citizens TV. Good evening, Mr. Edward Fernando.
Good evening, Natasha.
Everyone knows that the world is at their fingertips today. Today, communication is so advanced that it connects the two ends of the world in a matter of seconds. As a result of that, we could watch a live stream of a cricket match that is played in Australia. We who live in such an environment see that there are different relationships between people. Similarly, various relations and transactions take place between countries. That's why I think the world has become a single entity now. Yes, the scholar in front of me today is a doctor with a wealth of knowledge about the international arena. Mr. Edward Fernando, how could we simply explain international relations to our 11th grade brothers and sisters?
Yes, Natasha, I would first like to thank you and your Citizens Television for presenting a program that can explain a broader subject, such as international relations, to grade 11 students, and the approach you have taken in this regard today is also excellent. Obviously, the world today is at our fingertips. Today's technology has advanced enough to know anything happening in the world instantly. Communication has got advanced. You can talk to anyone in a matter of minutes, no matter where you are in the world. Our country is Sri Lanka, but we work with countries as far away as the United States, Great Britain, neighboring India, and Pakistan, for a variety of reasons. A country can be having relations with another country or with another group of countries. Then you should now understand that international relations can take place between one country to another country or many countries. Natasha, it is not limited only to international relations and state government relations. Both government and non-governmental organizations and individuals actively contribute to international relations. In fact, NGOs, as well as multinational national organizations, have a strong influence on international relations.
Mr. Fernando, if you explain it with examples, it would be easy for our brothers and sisters to understand.
That's right, Natasha. You see, Sri Lanka is now a member of the United Nations, and also a member of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. It is a member country of a large number of organizations, including the International Monetary Fund, the World Health Organization, and the Non-Aligned Movement. What is clear from this is that it is difficult for a country to function in isolation. You have realized that a state has relations with various organizations in the world. In addition, the growing interdependence between the nations of the world can be said to be simply the development of international relations due to the dependence of one country on another.
Mr. Fernando, it is possible to exchange ideas between a state and another state or non-governmental organizations in a country, and the problems faced by states today go beyond borders, right?
As you said, the problems in some countries today are global, affecting the whole world. COVID-19, which originated in China, became a pandemic all over the world. It is a good example. Various scholars, scientists, professors, and doctors from around the world as well as various organizations can be associated with another state for any reason. We can simply call it an international relationship. Today, countries around the world are finding solutions to issues such as environmental issues, global warming, illegal immigration, human trafficking, and global terrorism, not just individually, but internationally.
You explained examples of how an international relationship can be created in several ways. Now I would like to ask you what may have been the basis for the formation of international relations.
Actually, Natasha, this was affected by several factors. The first thing I see is the inequality of resources, which means that resources around the world are not evenly distributed. Some countries have abundant resources. Another country lacks resources. Now imagine the oil resources of the Middle East are abundant. Do we have? No. The natural resources of our country can be lost to another country. Our country is famous for tea. Due to the existence of a suitable natural environment for growing tea. It's a resource for us. The number of resources in different countries is different and heterogeneous. So, what do we do if another country wants these? Collaborate internationally. Do you see? Everything I have said before adds to the importance of an international relationship.
Then, sir, what are your second and third points?
When a person is constantly engaged in a task, that person becomes an expert in that task. We call it special antiquity. As they continue to do so, production will accelerate and they will be able to produce a surplus. What happens to the surplus is that we sell it to those who can't produce it, right? For example, we are not manufacturing tea only for our country. We sell them overseas. That is, the surplus of production has been instrumental in establishing international relations with international trade.
What is the third point you are making, Mr. Fernando?
Suppose, Natasha, there is an essential medicine for you and it is only available in America. So, you order it online and do the payment, then an international courier service like DHL can pick up this medicine by air the next day. It is evident that the advancement of international relations is facilitated by the advancement of information technology and the use of social media and communication.
Sri Lanka has faced several natural disasters in the recent past, including a tsunami and a major landslide in the Aranaic area, as well as the rapid spread of corona disease worldwide today. The World Health Organization has assisted our country and countries like ours in such disasters. Some developed economies have taken the lead in helping. Is this also a basis for establishing international relations?
You're correct, Natasha. Such an international relationship is essential for borrowing and seeking assistance in emergencies. In addition, the interaction between countries is important for the development of political and socio-cultural activities. So, at the moment many states are maintaining good relations with other states.
Please, explain the possible examples, Mr. Fernando.
Think about this, Natasha. Our Candian dance is a unique cultural event for us. These cannot be seen in the West. If a request is made to launch a cultural show in a Western country, our team will be sent there and it will be considered a cultural event. Students from foreign countries come to Sri Lankan universities for higher education and our country is also allowed to go to foreign universities. Exchange programs, however, can be described as cultural exchange programs to strengthen international relations. Borrowing money from one country to another can be described as economic, as well as support for parliamentary and political affairs, as well as political and international relations.
We know that diplomacy involves international trade, war strategies, and war agreements between countries in the world. Could you explain to me how these relationships are important to us?
Yes, international relations are a very important issue today. As I reminded you earlier, some needs cannot be met by a country alone. Then we have to get the support of another state. We cannot do it internationally without our involvement. Another important factor is to protect small nations from the pressures of powerful nations. States work together for this. The establishment of SAARC is an example of a solution to the regional problems of South Asian countries.
Isn't it possible for some countries to adopt protectionist methods and stop their country from importing goods from other countries? Aren't some countries maintaining cooperation and relations for this too?
It is clear that international trade agreements and organizations have been set up to prevent injustice in such cases. International relations create local and foreign employment. Then there will be a growth in socio-economic activities. The employment of Sri Lankan women in the Middle East and the industrial employment of youth in South Korea are simple examples. It will increase per capita income and provide foreign exchange to the Sri Lankan economy. The economy of the country, as well as itself, is developing.
In this program today, as the last question, I would like to ask you, what is the political and cultural impact of this issue?
Natasha, the point you raised is very important. Due to the establishment of political and cultural relations between countries, international relations are expanding. Some countries have the same influence and support for cultural exchanges as well as political decisions. Sri Lanka has friendly agreements with neighboring countries such as India and Pakistan. Natasha, in fact, in every country in the world today, the subject of international relations is used as an academic subject in academic activities. This subject is taught in several universities in our country as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and attending the Citizen TV channel to explain to the students studying citizenship education in grade 11 the necessity of international relations in a very simple manner. Thank you all for the thousands who watched the show today. And by thanking all the artists who contributed to the program, I would like to wind up today's program now. Let's meet in another interesting program of Citizen World again. Till then, have a nice week.